Okay, the screen looks decent. All right, go for it, Alex.
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the slightly delayed episode 3 of the Link Cable podcast. I'm your host, Alex. Thanks for joining us today. It's a bit later than we typically hope to do these shows on. We like to do them Sunday, but, you know, the internet. So I'm joined today by a couple of regulars. I've got Zai and Kevin here. And then we also got special guest Jeff, who's joining the show today. So hi, Jeff.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Jeff.
Cool. So thanks for joining us. Hope you guys enjoy our show that we've got planned.
And we're technically live on Twitch, like we always are. We're hopefully going to be live on YouTube in a few minutes, but we're having some technical difficulties, as tonight's theme will point out. And again, we'll eventually be on Mixer one day. We'll let you know when that happens.
Yeah.
So
Again, the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been giving us a few problems the past 2 days, so we've been working through that. So everyone, thanks so much for coming out with us today. Come join us on the live chat. So we're just going to be chatting along and reading your comments as we go through them. So make sure you keep us updated and post up for us, and we'll be reading with you.
Cool. Oh shit! Why is this? Not
All right.
No. If you're watching live, this is as real as it gets, guys. You can see all the crap that we have to deal with. Internet
Streaming and
problems,
technical difficulties.
Nothing fun. Dang. All right, go for it, Alex.
Gaming.
You can jump us to the next section. Let's get us past technical difficulties, please.
All right. Usually we'll do like the news rundown, and we do have some topics to go over today. Actually, we have a whole bunch of stuff. So we're going to talk about Super Mario Maker 2. We're going to talk a bit about Fortnite and some guy who had a concert in it. I don't know. Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming to Xbox Game Pass. We'll talk about that. A bunch of PlayStation news with a possible leak of the PS Plus games for next month, as well as Last of Us 2 finally getting a release date. And we're also going to throw in some Stadia Connect predictions. So that's happening tomorrow. But before we get to that, Jeff, since you're the new guy around here, we're going to throw it right over to you. Tell us about yourself. What kind of games do you like to play, Jeff? Playing.
Yeah,
What do you play on?
I've been a gamer since the Sega Genesis days, so
Ooh,
I've been
good
playing
days.
quite a long time. Never owned a single Nintendo system other than Game Boy, so I'm not too much of a Nintendo guy. I do have a Xbox. I don't have the newest one, but I have a 360, so I don't play too much Xbox. But I kind of substituted that with PC gaming now that Microsoft allowed a lot of the gaming on the PC. You know, there's feel for like not as much of a reason to get an Xbox for me because I can play all those good games I want, like Gears and everything on PC. And then I do like PS4. They have some good exclusives that I just jumped into with Spider-Man, God of War, and all that fun stuff. So lately, this last week, I've been dabbling. I kind of jump around, and during quarantine, you got to keep things fresh. If you can't spend too much time in one game, you'll just get bored.
Yeah.
Been playing a lot of Octopath Traveler. That game's keeping me pretty occupied. It's a good JRPG. If you guys never played it.
Yeah. Oh, I love that game. It's one of my favorites. I played it on the Switch when it came out, and I played it through, and it was one of those games where you put it down, you're like, I wish there was a little bit more.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt about it too.
Yeah.
Octopath Traveler is the one game I have not gotten a chance to play, but everyone around me seems to have played it and really enjoyed it. I just
very good.
Really want to try it out.
It's the same development team that did the Bravely games, like Bravely Default and Bravely Second. So
you were talking about.
Yeah, so really strong JRPG, just pedigree there, like a very solid team, and Octopath's a great game.
Yeah, it's really well polished, is what I would say. The story's a little hit or miss, but just the gameplay and the polish on it makes up for that.
Right.
And then I just got No Man's Sky on PC. So
very nice.
Yeah. I always kept hearing things about it. I've always been curious. It was on sale for $30. My brother's birthday was, a couple weeks ago, so I bought it for him and me, and we playing that. I've been having a blast in there, just exploring all the different worlds and finding all the different creatures. And
you have got to tell me, I haven't found someone that's played No Man's Sky in the recent, post patches and post launches. How is it still everything just auto-generated and the worlds are just kind of diverse, or what's going on with that right now?
Well, I can't say so much for how it was before. This was my first entry into it. I did watch a couple old reviews, and I can tell you they've added like a ton of just like content and detail and like quality of life improvements that I think really take the game from where it was in the basement and the gutters like to the next level, to where it's just an enjoyable experience where you can just get in a ship, fly around, you go to these different planets, and they don't procedurally generate them so they're like weird and kind of odd and don't make sense. Like the planets make sense to me. If you have aquatic life, you're going to see more aquatic-like creatures, or you're not going to see like a tree stump with arms or something. You're going to get like crazy-looking stuff out there. And even I know, Kevin, you played it with me a little bit too on PlayStation, so maybe you could.
Yeah, it's.
So what do you do what do you guys do in No Man's Sky that kind of draws you into it? I'm so curious about that game. I want to play it with my brother.
It's very sandboxy, so you pretty much just start with like a very basic mining tool, and then you start mining simple minerals, and those simple minerals turn into more complex minerals, and you can refine them, and then you start building a base. You can make these bases that are just crazy. You can even make like entire cities. If you go on YouTube, you can find some. You'll get rovers, you get mecho suits, you get freighters. You can upgrade your spaceship. It's just a very open world to explore, to just spend time in. I think this is a great game to play during quarantine, to just kind of get away from everything.
Is it atmosphere wise? Is it like quiet? Do you kind of
Yeah, it's really chill.
Yeah, it's like a really chill kind of atmosphere.
Yeah, I would say like if you're interested, like I would definitely say give it a try. I think you'd be. It's one of those games like I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
I'll go in and I just want to spend like an hour. I want to mine a few minerals, maybe make this thing for my house. And then next thing I know, I've ended up spending like 2 or 3 hours just doing random stuff all over. So
nice.
Really cool.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I think what? After that, I really do want to check it out just from all the updates that were happening. What about you, Kevin? What else have you been trying to play like recently this week?
So I kind of had a little experience playing World of Warcraft again, and got myself very deep into it, and I'm a little bit sad because I don't want to be addicted to all the older versions of it, and I'm very excited for Shadowlands. So
nice.
I'm spending a lot of time grinding rep, getting all the unlockable races. I don't know if you guys are... Who here had played WoW? I remember some of you had and some hadn't.
Jacob is our resident WoW expert. So, but Jacob unfortunately wasn't able to air with us today. But he is usually the one who plays WoW. Alex has a bit of experience, right?
Yeah, I played WoW up to... I got into WoW around like the Cataclysm days. Like Cataclysm was coming out, and I got into it, and I played through the Mist days. So like, not for a couple years at least.
Nice.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
So
I know Jeff, you've played quite a bit. You played all the way up to Battle for Azeroth too. So
yeah, I started playing during Vanilla. I played through Burning Crusade, and then I basically took a break all the way to Warlords. Yeah. And then I played Warlords, what was it, Legion, and then BFA.
Yeah, kind of similar to what I have. So I just jumped in. There's a 100% experience and 100% rep bonus going on right now for everybody. So I've been just grinding rep, trying to unlock these allied races, which are the unlockable ones. You have to have a huge rep grind and do a quest line, and you get to use. So I'm trying to unlock them, so when the expansion for Shadowlands comes out, I'll be able to main some of the unlockable races instead of just the basic ones. So probably been playing that the most of my time. And then in between that, I've been playing Hearthstone quite a bit with the new... what's the name of the expansion, Jeff?
Ashes of Outlands.
So I used to play a lot of Hearthstone in Classic, then I played a lot through expansions here and there, and then kind of was getting a little tired of it because of all the pay-to-win type of stuff that kind of goes on in that game. But Jeff plays Hearthstone quite a bit, and he kind of got me back into it. So I've been playing that a bit, and man, I dabble into so many random little games. I'm not actually spending too much time on one. I'm still playing Dragon Quest IV. I know I talk about that every week. Probably my last week I'll talk about it and I'll be done. And then Kingdom Hearts 3 I'm playing and trying to finish up again. So I think next week will be my first week I have a whole new set of games to talk about because I'm pretty close to beating all those games. And I think I'm going to jump back into some stuff that Greedfall is a game. That's what it was. Greedfall I'm going to jump back into and try to finish that up. Which I actually...
Greedfall looks really promising.
It's way better. I Steam share it with a friend on his account. And I started playing it, and now every time I go to play it, it says my friend's playing one of these games on a Steam account, and it won't let me share it. So I might just end up buying it for myself, because I do really like it. That's pretty much what I've been up to. How about you, Zai?
So for me, I don't know if Alex has also been joining in on that, but it has been the Final Fantasy VII Remake. For me, pretty much all week. Alex, did you get your copy finally?
No, I have not gotten my copy. So Amazon has it on back order. I don't want to have one game take up. I have a 500 gig PS4. I do not want one game to take up most of my console's remaining space. So I'm waiting very patiently. There are other games, like I've got tons of games to play still, but it's every day that goes by I'm like, is today the day? But no, it's on back order. Amazon has been very like upfront about that. They're like, hey, we can't get this copy in right now, so I'll wait a little longer, I guess.
That makes sense.
I am keeping an eye on like other like stores and like Best Buy or whatever to see if they get it in, and they're also all sold out online. So
and
it's not like I can just get up and go to a store right now. It's shut down. But yeah, no, I am not joining you on the Final Fantasy VII train out of Midgard
yet. It's a shame. So so right now the two things that have been really occupying my time. Last week I brought up the Guardian games for Destiny 2. So that's been going on really strong right now. I've been playing Guardian games, the new event that's happening in Destiny 2. Essentially, it's basically a competition between the three main races or classes: hunters, warlock, titans. Basically, your rogues, your mages, and your tanks. And to see which class essentially comes out on top. More players in Destiny 2 are hunters, your rogue characters. So what Bungie did was they nerfed not the rewards, but if three times your player base are hunters and only 2 times and 1 times are the other two, they basically brought them to an even footing in terms of like, say you deposit a medal, because it's essentially the Olympics. So if a hunter deposits a medal, they get 1 times, because there's 3 times the amount of hunters. So if one of the other 2 races deposits, it's like multiplied by 2. But there's a big problem right now in Destiny 2 where hunters, it feels as though their rewards are getting exceptionally nerfed into the ground. So the other 2 classes are not just, it's not an even, it doesn't feel even. Hunters, the warlocks and the titans, your tanks and your mages, they're like leaps and bounds over hunters right now. So whatever algorithm Bungie is using feels on either hunters are just not putting their weight in, and titans and warlocks are just really winning hard.
Okay.
Or the algorithm itself that's trying to balance it out really tanked the rogue hunter class to make it so that they're just barely in the running at all. So there's a bit of divisiveness right now in the Destiny community where it's like, should it be even? Because if it is even, hunters are just going to obliterate because of their numbers. But this way, it's made it so that now they're just completely shot into the ground. So the community is a little up in arms. That's what I've been playing mostly with my friends right now on Xbox. But the Final Fantasy VII Remake, aside from that, has been taking up the most amazing amount of time. I'm about, 15, 20 hours in.
Okay.
I finally... I'm at the point where I'm with Aerith by this point, so it's her whole little introduction storyline, and it's really nice.
So you really like that Final Fantasy VII Remake, right?
I don't want to, because I don't want my opinions to cloud some of the viewers or even to cloud Alex's, but the narrative is almost a reimagining of Seven's original story. So it's like, imagine Tolkien remade Lord of the Rings for a modern era, and or like change some of the base elements, because to transition it from a book coming out in the 1900s to a book coming out in the 2000s, there's some tonal differences that you need to play in, you know? Like, Avalanche is an eco-terrorist group that blows up reactors. Kind of a hot topic. So some things have been like adjusted and tweaked, and some of the story elements have been altered. And because it's a remake, not a remaster, it's not one-to-one, you know, perfect how it's going to be. So for the purists of the Final Fantasy genre, it's almost like taboo. Imagine changing Majora's Mask, Alex, or changing Ocarina of Time in any possible way. In your head, it's different, right?
Right.
So it would be like that. And it's not just one little change or two. It's almost like whole new storyline elements are being added.
So
I'm
seeing you really enjoy this. All the changes are for the better, I assume.
All the changes make it so that you're playing the same game. It's just taking a different narrative. It's like if you were to compare the Final Fantasy VII, the original from '97, to the remake, they're the same game, just told in very different ways.
I can just see Alex's face just like so upset that I wish I could get my freaking copy of this game. You sit and talk about it like
I want to play.
I don't want to ruin it for Alex, you know, and talk about the main plot details, but it's just different, you know.
Jeff,
it's a more.
Do you have any interest in this game, or have you played the demo? What is your history with Final Fantasy in general and Final Fantasy VII?
There's a demo.
I have played 0 Final Fantasy games, so I don't really have much interest in this one.
That's fine. I you know, if you don't have a PS4, do you?
I do
yes,
have a
you do
PS4,
for your exclusive. In all honesty, the Final Fantasy VII Remake, I feel it's a great JRPG for people who, you know, it feels like Final Fantasy 15, where it's an excellent intro game into RPGs or JRPGs, and I feel like it really blends that medium well. It's not as hardcore, you know, tight mechanics as JRPGs, and there's a lot of side quests.
So you should definitely try the demo, Jeff, at the very least. I think you'd be...
Yeah,
you like JRPGs. You loved Persona, and that's very JRPG, so...
I did play a lot of Persona,
So if you like that, I feel like this is still...
I mean, maybe I'll give it a shot, especially if I'm coming in, you know, without having that original experience. Maybe I'll give me a fresh take on this new one, just kind of take it fresh and take it new, you know?
Yeah.
I do think that one of the things, because I think I said it last show or maybe the show before, I've been replaying the original Final Fantasy VII.
Correct.
And I think one of the things I have to like, it's hard to say these words, and I might lose some of you on this, but that game is hard to go back to today. It is a
Absolutely.
It's not always fun. It's not always a good experience to play Final Fantasy VII, the OG version. So I feel like this remake, again, having played not one moment of it, makes that whole universe and that whole world so much more accessible, because I could never tell someone, oh no, if you want to play the definitive Final Fantasy VII, play the original, because they're not gonna have a good time unless they are
PlayStation era games
die
are
hard.
Pretty rough. Those 3D ones, that's not an easy generation to go back to and try to enjoy again. Like everybody's got square heads and shit like that.
Imagine, it was one of the original launch titles. It launched the PS1 into existence, essentially. Single-handedly. Wow. It was the game that made Sony and then Square Enix the juggernauts of the gaming franchise.
Yeah.
Sony at the time was banking so hard on Final Fantasy VII. It was essentially their sink or swim game. If 7 made it, it made Sony into what they are today, and Square Enix as a result.
So what other games you've been playing?
Aside from those two, it's been I don't think I have much more time. The 7 remake and Guardian games right now have been just dominating.
Nice. All right, what about you, Alex? Did you finish up and have anything else?
So real quick, I got back into a game that I used to play tons and tons of. Probably my most played Switch game. I got back into Super Smash Brothers.
Yes.
So it was I was playing Animal Crossing one night, and I realized I had been playing Animal Crossing since it came out, and it was the only cartridge that had been in my Switch since then. And I was like, all right, I've caught all the fish, all the bugs that I feel like doing. I'm a millionaire now, so I'm going to take a break from this game. And I'm going through my games. I'm like, oh, Smash Brothers. I haven't played that in a while. And then I ended up playing for, I think, 7 hours straight.
Wow.
Oh, man.
For a couple of days in a row, just like play a few matches. Like the online is terrible, which is kind of a drag because it's like you want to just sit there and just kind of play match after match, but like the online is such a drag. But back into Smash Brothers, so that's it's been fun. Inkling in this one.
Wow.
Yeah, purple haired school uniform Inkling is my main. In Ultimate, in Smash 4, I was basically exclusively played sword fighters. So I played Toon Link was my main in that one.
Nice.
Then Shulk, Lucina, Corrin, a bit of Cloud, but not really. But like all sword fighters. And for this one, I was like, I made a conscious decision to try something different, and I really like how Inkling plays in this one. So, yeah, been playing a lot of Smash Brothers. Still playing Animal Crossing. I got a couple of projects on the go for the website, so some reviews you guys can look forward to very soon. I'm finally far enough into Dreams that I have an opinion on it that I feel comfortable putting to words. So look forward to that very soon. Been playing Moving Out, which is a really fun game.
Ooh.
It's a really fun game. It sucks that I have to play it alone. It's quarantine, right?
Yeah.
And local co-op multiplayer games don't
do well when
as
you're by
fun
yourself.
when you have to play. Right, and it doesn't. It's unfortunate. It doesn't have an online option, so
It doesn't?
no. It's all local.
Bummer.
That is unfortunate.
Interesting.
It's a fun little game. It is a very fun little game. I am I'm giving it a definite recommendation, but it's playing it alone is it's
not doing
very,
you any favors, yeah.
No, it's
Definitely a co-op game.
yes, 100%. I would absolutely love to play it with 4 people. I think 4 people sitting on a couch playing Moving Out together would be. It would. I know it's not the same developer, but it's the same publisher that did Overcooked, and I feel like you'll get the same type of
that game's always fun too.
experience. Yeah, Overcooked's a great game.
I
think you get the same kind of like
that game in my life.
Yeah, I think it's it wouldn't be a stretch to think that they're part of the same series. Like they're completely different, but like they share a lot of common elements. Overcooked and Moving Out. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm playing it and I'm like, oh, but I'm playing it alone. Like it's just not as good. Because it doesn't even give you like an AI partner. It's just like, all right, I guess you're doing it alone.
Wow.
Your little character, he can move, or they can move like a whole couch or a fridge on their own, but they're dragging it from like the side. So like there's no one on the other side to like, if it's an L-shaped couch, to get it through a door together. So it's just kind of like, you're just kind of like, you get the couch up into the door frame, you jump over it to go side to push it, and like it basically makes it impossible to get like the highest rank in that level, because you can't beat the level fast enough by having to do everything yourself. And it's probably one of the funniest games I've played in a really long time. It's all like, you're jumping through panes of glass to get to the kitchen to be able to like move their fridge. Like it's dumb in that sense, but the writing is just top notch. It's really, really funny. It's that lowbrow, but like it kind of reminds me of SpongeBob humor, where it's like, it's not like highbrow humor, but there's something there. And it's just that the little your character is like this moving company, these employees, they're so eager and earnest about it. Like they just love their job so much. Like they live for moving furniture, and it's just hilarious. Like it's absolutely like it's just little quips that just I'm always like, oh man, that's so funny.
No.
So yeah, moving out, I'm gonna definitely give it a recommendation. Is just if you can play it with someone. If you can't, it's not as good a game, but it is a very fun little game.
Nice. Do Kevin or Jeff, do you guys play Smash Bros?
Casually, like if people are over, but not like good. It's more of like, hey,
Nice.
we're all hanging out. What do you want to do? Let's have some drinks and play some Smash Bros. Actually, in our
Nice.
case,
I just played it with
yeah, I've been
friends.
doing
Never really
a yearly
serious.
chili cook-off and Smash Brothers thing every year in January, so it's kind of
Nice.
a random tradition
Very
that
nice.
started.
What characters do you guys main?
I usually main Kirby, but it's just because he's kind of like a go-to quick. But I love to just play someone random every time. I like Pokemon Trainer a lot. I think he's a lot of fun to play, so you go with him. Usually, if I'm not playing Kirby.
Yeah.
I always seem to win more when I played as Zero Suit Samus, so she became like my default when I want to try hard.
Yeah.
Even then, I usually still lose to someone who's better, but it's always
Yeah.
more fun when you're doing at least a little bit
Word
of
on the
damage.
street is if you want to win, you play King DDD, and that's it.
King DDD's gotten a lot of buffs actually recently.
Yes,
That's who I hear.
Really
I have a friend
has.
who's very hardcore in gaming, and he loves King
Yeah.
DDD, so...
I could in Brawl and in Smash 4, I could not
Oof.
spend more than a minute with DD, and I was like, "This is a terrible character. He's so
Awful.
garbage." And then like in this one, I was like, "Oh no, he actually like he's not that bad." So like
Yeah.
no, they figured out King DD. Actually, I really like heavyweights in this game a lot better
I'm so
than
bad
in
at
older
anybody
Smash
like that.
games.
Any of the slow guys I suck with. I like
So Alex, what are you doing for 7 hours? Are you just doing the single player, or are you doing matches, or what are you doing in there?
Mostly online.
Nice.
Just online, even though it's so rough.
What
It's
else is there to
still
do?
fun.
I thought there was like that map mode.
yeah.
And
What,
you can
what
like
is
do all
that
the
map
different
thing
challenges.
called?
World
Yeah,
of
that's
Light.
pretty fun.
Yeah.
I played that quite a bit.
Yeah, I
Did you beat
finished
that yet?
Yeah, I finished that,
Oh,
so I don't
jeez.
really want to do it.
God, you're
Uh,
too
go through
hardcore.
There is a new game plus if you want to do that, but it takes about like 40 hours to get 30 maybe 30 hours to get through.
Wow.
To get through at 100% completion.
Jesus.
Like you do every battle along the way. It's long. It's just spirits they're not a very fun reward.
Yeah.
I trophies and not stickers, just trophies. Trophies were a much I don't know. It felt like you earned something when you got a trophy in the older Smash games. Like, hey, like you got this like piece of like retro gaming memorabilia. Even though it's virtual, you still got that. Now it's just like a JPEG of a character. And yeah, you could level them up and use them in matches and stuff. So that's kind of cool. But I don't know. I don't feel a big drive to get them all like I used to because I've finished every Smash Bros game 100%. I've gotten every single thing in them.
God.
And this one, I'm like, I'll get there, but I don't really feel that drive. Oh yeah, I've
Wow.
played tons of Smash Bros. I love Smash Bros.
Alex, my original mains, my overall main, the one who I always go to is Samus, no matter what. But lately, my Snake, I'm like, oh, Snake's changed so much from Brawl, and I'm just like, I wanted to try something new, and I got into Mewtwo, thinking because Mewtwo was my main back in the Melee days, and oh my god. I have been loving the Mewtwo feel and aesthetic. It's just been he's so floaty, but also can like hit hard. Mewtwo's been a good character to main again.
Yeah, Mewtwo's solid again. I mean, like there's so much that changes with the Smash like metagame every so often, where like every patch that comes out, people have to like redo their understanding of who is good. When Ultimate just came out, I remember people were like, Inkling is broken. She's so good.
Yeah.
And I was like, I enjoy playing as Inkling, so I had fun. And then but all the nerfs that they put to her, it's like, okay, yeah, the stuff that usually typically works for like a spam doesn't work as often. Her side B is ridiculously still like overpowered. I love it because it's a guaranteed berry if you hit, And if they're over 100%, you basically get a guaranteed KO that way because you bury them and then you just smash them off screen. So that's still kind of fun to just use. And I don't want to give away my secrets, but the way I play Smash is because most online battles are one or two stock, or not one or two or three stock. And I won't ever use that move on their first life that I take from, or first stock I take from them, so that I get an easier time on the second one.
Sneaky.
Yeah, I like to think it's sneaky, but I just told it to the internet. We have, by my count, millions of viewers right now, so I'm sure
everyone has tuned in.
Yeah, and well, actually, I do see a comment on Twitch. It says Luigi for life.
Hell yeah!
Sure. Yeah, Luigi is I don't know. He's a character, I guess. He's one of the 100 characters in Smash Brothers. One of the ones that I've spent like 2 seconds with. But yeah, so let's jump into the news. So the first thing on the agenda to talk about is Super Mario Maker 2 got its final update. So Nintendo's flat out said it. There's no more major update after this. This is it. And
exciting.
I guess. It's a pretty big update. So they added in a whole bunch of items across every style. So all 5 styles have some new items that you can play with, like power-ups and things like that. They added into the original Mario Brothers style a Super Mario Brothers 2 mushroom that once you do that, you can kind of... You take on the properties of Mario, like in Mario Brothers 2. So you jump on. If you jump on something, you don't stomp it. You can pick it up and throw it. You can ride enemies to the end of the level. And the biggest change is that they added in a world maker. So you can now make an overworld map. And look, it's I think it's only in the Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario World style for the map itself. So it looks like map from Super Mario World. And you can make 40 levels. You can chain them together so that they have like a narrative, essentially. So it's all free. All of Super Mario Maker 2's content has been free. So it's a pretty big update. I have thoughts and opinions on it, but I'll let you guys go first. Do you guys have thoughts or opinions on this update?
Jeff, I bet you
have never.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, me, yeah. I never got into the Super Mario World too much, so I mean I've heard of this game and I think it's an interesting take on like letting people make their own worlds and stuff. So I think it's pretty cool. I'm glad it's interesting they're supporting it, and like adding that world feature could really give it some cool depth that allows people to like get a lot of mileage out of it. So I think that's cool.
Zahi, you were to say something?
I got to play Mario Maker at my buddy's, and it was, you know what? I haven't been the biggest Mario, not fan, but just player, any of the games so much like Galaxy or Sunshine, post the first couple, after really the third. And it's just, I'm glad Mario has had especially Mario Maker 2 has had just this huge resurgence of popularity with the amount of customizability, because when I played it at my buddy's place, it was just really fun to go through some of the custom levels and just see the crazy stuff that they were able to develop. So just the fact that they're able to push that even further to like make it more connected and more overarching, I'm really impressed that they're still going through with that. I wish they would probably, try to do more with the game. When did Mario Maker 2 come out, Alex? 2018 or 19?
2019, summer 2019.
So it's been
Summer
about a
2019. Yeah. So a year and no content after that. It's getting into the areas of like, I don't know. What do you think, Alex, on that? There it is.
So I have a love-hate relationship with Super Mario Maker 2. The reason being is I love Mario Maker 1. It was, and I mean, the bar was set pretty low, but it was my favorite Wii U game. So I thought it was great. I put hundreds of hours into this game. I played it all the time. And then Mario Maker 2 came out, and like all pre-launch, I was like, no, this game is going to be like, it's going to be what I loved and a million times more. It is going to be the Mario making game. And then it came out, and I was really hyped. I played it for a bit. I had like some initial issues with the controls because obviously with the Wii U you've got a touch screen in your hands, and on the Switch you don't have that. It's all button controls unless you're building it all on the tablet itself. So I was like, oh, okay, kind of like that's. I mean, it's the console it's on, right? And then the community never took off for Mario Maker 2 like it did for Mario Maker 1. The levels
Strange, eh?
the levels immediately were the troll levels. It was like everyone had gotten their fill of trying to make real Mario levels and creative ones. And like, I'm not saying there are absolutely some incredibly creative Mario Maker 2 levels out there, but there was no community excitement around it. So trying to hop into it
level
and then it's like
with impossible like fire and flames and things to jump over. I've seen some of those things. They're crazy and it's not fun. It's just like it's like a good meme and then you're done.
Yeah. And then Nintendo never really they made these like the discoverability a little bit better in this one, but it's never been good like to find good levels that you want to play, because you might like puzzle levels, you might like just normal Mario levels. Like there should be a way to search for the type of level you want, and then that never really materialized. And then what happened was the community really started gravitating to people with giant YouTube channels or giant followings. So people with hundreds of thousands of subscribers on YouTube would post their levels, everyone on there, and it absolutely buried everyone else because there was no discoverability for them. So all these people there's some people who like have made very interesting Mario Maker levels. They make one or two, no one plays them, and then they just stop because to make a good level, it takes effort and time. So the community kind of stagnated where it was just the same users making levels. I'm more of a player than a maker. I have like my Mario making levels, I make them for myself more than anything. Like I'm like, oh, like can I make a level like I always wanted to play like when I was a kid, and then I'll try to put it in there. But I'm much more of a player than a maker. But I never found that the community built itself around Mario Maker 2. And then for Nintendo to be like, this is it, this is the last update, it kind of felt like, and that's over. It's not, there's a lot of options. You definitely have a lot of tools at your disposal in Mario Maker 2. And I, actually, if our listeners head over to linkcable.com, I had posted an opinion piece where I say a lot more about Mario Maker 2 and why I think it has a lot of wasted potential over on the website. So check that out if you have a moment. But long story short, it's a game that I was like, it could have been so much more, and it ended up being a by the numbers better game, but not as fleshed out or as interesting as what came before. And my personal complaint is that they never added amiibo support into this, and I know
so
that's weird. They didn't do that,
man.
Well, the amiibo, I mean, Nintendo barely remembers that amiibo exists at this point in the game. But the amiibo support in the original Mario Maker was one of its better features, because every amiibo that had been released up to that point, you got an 8-bit sprite of that character. So you could make, let's say, like you wanted to make a Sonic the Hedgehog level in Mario Maker, you could, and you could have Sonic be your avatar. I thought that was really cool, especially for characters like they had the whole cast of Fire Emblem. They had some Xenoblade characters, they had Pokemon characters. Like that's really cool, like to be able to like make a Pokemon themed Mario level. And in this one, they just did nothing. There is no amiibo support whatsoever, and it's like, oh, all right, that was one of the cooler features of the first one, but I guess we're not even going there. They did add in and I mean, like I said, like they added the Super Mario Maker or Super Mario Brothers 2 mushroom, so you can kind of take on that persona, and they added a Legend of Zelda costume too, so you could play through the game as Link. That's broken though; it's not a very fun option. I have opinions on it. I could talk about Mario Maker for a while, but like not having the option, like it was such a weird thing because it's such a you already have it. Like I understand if you can't put all the third-party characters in because they had a whole bunch of them too. Like
there was a lot, man.
Oh yeah, they were adding them as like kind of like little like kind kind of little bits of free DLC. It was like, hey, there's a new level out. I remember one of the weirdest ones was Shaun the Sheep, which is not even a video game character. It's
it's that like claymation
you guys
stuff,
know
right?
Shaun the,
Yeah.
You could play as Shaun the Sheep in the original Super Mario Maker.
Amazing.
You could play as Baby Metal, which is really funny.
I wonder if like
all three of them are
part of this was because I feel like the second one, everybody thought that Mario Maker was just going to be a port to the Switch versus a completely new game. So I wonder if they tried to just port it, but then they're like, oh, we need to make this different and new, and they tried to change it up a little bit, but it sounds like they made it change for the worse.
It's not enough.
Maybe. One of the things I really liked about the original Mario Maker was, and I mean, it's a product of its time in the sense that it came out when Nintendo was at their weirdest. Mid Wii U Nintendo was bonkers. They would do anything and hope it stuck, because they were like, well, no one bought the Wii U, so we'll just put our craziest ideas out there. And Mario Maker, the original, has such a I don't want to say edgy personality, but it has a personality. Like, it's very much like the game isn't afraid to make fun of you or to just be absurd. Like, if you fall in a pit and die, you hear the Mario death animation or sound, but every so often it's just this like weird blast of music, and it's random, and it just throws in all these really weird random elements that just really made it like its own kind of like, this is a really quirky game. And Mario Maker 2 is very much like, this is a Mario game, and that's it. Like, it has it's not very big on the personality side of things. So
it's cookie cutter.
It is very cookie cutter, yeah. And I mean that's kind of like, Nintendo's had a really, really good run with the Switch, but I do miss their quirkiness a bit. I did like that from the Wii U era, where they were just like, what's Nintendo going to do now? Who knows? It's probably going to be weird. It's probably going to be something that no one really wants. I kind of miss that from Nintendo. I like that era of them. But yeah, that's the long and short of it. Is those are my my opinions on Mario Maker 2. They're a bit all over the place, but wasted potential.
Yeah.
Poor Mario Maker. R.I.P. Last preview or last update.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's kind of like when you have to say that it's the last update, it kind of like it puts like a stamp on it. Like, it's not. That's it. This is what it is. Don't expect any more.
Time to wait for Mario Maker 3 now.
And hopefully with dual screen support
Hopefully.
with that new Switch that we keep hypothesizing about.
I would, you know what? That would Mario Maker
You're
needs
so like emotionally
two
involved in this
screens.
Mario Maker. Like, just like took the biggest.
It's true.
stretch.
It's
And,
true.
And no one is like, sometimes I feel like I'm the only person that will be like, you know what, guys, the Wii U was not that bad.
It wasn't. I love the Wii U.
I'm on the completely far other spectrum. I'm listening to hear this going, Mario Maker, yeah, okay, I just don't care. It's so not for me. It's not a. I own it. I got it from Kohl's using Kohl's Cash. So I got it for free, and I still couldn't find any enjoyment out of it. And the same thing you said, you get into these levels like, oh, this will be fun. And you're like, this is impossible. This is harder than Dark Souls. I can't make it anymore. These levels are so freaking tough. Yeah. And I had no fun. And I'm not creative in that sense to make levels, so it was just not for me.
Yeah, I think like even as a player and as a maker, I think you have to have that kind of creativity in games like Mario Maker, that kind of push you to want to try out different options that you have, like different accessibility modes, and I think you need to have that bit of like intrinsic, maybe how can I design this level to kind of suit better, but I think the problem with creative games, it's how can we make the absolute hardest thing possible, and not how can we make the most creative thing possible. That's exactly.
And some people like that. I'll give it to them. I don't know. We'll let Mario Maker die with its last update. R.I.P. Yeah. I'm okay to let that go. All right, what's our next news story?
All right. Next news story is, you know what? If I had a lot to say about Mario Maker, I have barely anything to say about this. So Travis Scott had a concert in Fortnite.
I don't know who this guy is.
Reports. I have no idea who Travis
Six
Scott is.
billionaire.
Yeah,
I don't
me
know
neither.
Travis Scott is a rapper,
That's
and
Is he
but
relevant?
he's
He come out
been
with, like a song like in 2007.
no, he's collaborated on a lot of new tracks. Travis Scott is actually a very good writer, and he's written a lot
So why
of
were
good
they
rap
like, let's get
tracks
this guy
that
in
have been.
Fortnite? It's a game predominantly played by children. Let's get this rapper who's probably talking about drugs and sex to come play in our game.
It's
And on top of this makes absolutely no sense to me. How does it? I did not attend the concert. I don't know this man. I don't understand Fortnite even the most. So, but in my mind, Fortnite is a battle royale. You get into a map and you try to kill all the other people before they kill you, right? How the hell do you put a concert into this? Like, who's standing around listening to music? Does this make sense to anybody else?
No,
No.
and that's I think the total appeal of it. 27 million people, man, in attendance in the 3 days.
You load into a
And that-
map, you come off the bus with that flies, you parachute down, and you just stand still hoping it kills you while you're at a concert?
All right,
No,
we need someone who watched this concert to you let us know how it was
But-
done and let us
So-
know how
because
it went.
it just
This
makes
is
so
what
it
I
was
want
a
to know.
live. It was the live event.
But
for
where does the
period
live
of time
event
that it
take
was at.
place? I don't get it.
In
a
the
match.
game when you
In a
actually
match.
log in. No, it's not. It's during a match, but it's like it takes place during the match itself. So it's not really. You're not going to be playing for those 10 minutes that the concert's
So then
actually
you're not in a
happening.
match.
But you're at, but you're still in the game. You're still
So
kind of
you could go
interacting with
around
it,
and
and
shoot
everyone has
everybody
like their
while
own
they're
little
watching?
server. I don't think you were able to. I think it was during the time that the concert actually
wait, so
aired.
if there's a
You could
concert
kind
you
of just
can't
enjoy
play?
and watch it. You actually, it's like a visual experience. It's basically like the YouTube
No.
concerts where they have like Coldplay and stuff. One of the times they came on, it's basically like going into that. Like you could still play the game, but there's the option
Okay,
to
so
actually
you go
view
into the game
uh,
and you can put view Travis Scott or whatever his name is instead, and then you don't play the Battle Royale? Is-
bingo. So
Oh,
you
okay.
get to go through the
So
concert
it's not.
itself.
See, I thought you
So-
literally could go like, I'm jumping out of the bus and I can land at the mall or the concert.
And you have-
And what do I
No.
want to do? Like,
So it's it was the astronomical. It was the track that came out was astronomical from the new album, and it was basically like kind of like a visual experience through Fortnite. And I think the reason why it got so many people to come into it was because I don't think I've ever heard
Scott?
of
Me neither.
not just even like not even Travis Scott, just the fact that like you have a platform that kind of engaged.
I mean, you got a
Music
platform with millions of
in the
people
time
playing.
that
If you
it-
put something in
So-
it, people are going to try it out, and we're all quarantined right now, and they're probably children, and they're probably not
It's
supposed to be listening
it's
to
the
this guy
perfect-
rapping, so they can do it with their parents' permission.
Perfect time
I
for
figured
it.
out the secret here.
So this is not the first time that Fortnite has done this. I know of at least one
No.
other time where they had a live event. It was the
Another unknown artist.
Star Wars Episode 9 trailer.
That's
Uh,
right.
Wow.
And they had a clip from the Star Wars Episode 9 trailer that came out with it too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's.
So basically, you log in and you get to see a free clip for Star Wars Episode 9.
I gotta
So
say, they're creative.
Fortnite has
It's
been
definitely
doing
something
these.
interesting. It obviously doesn't interest any of us, but I mean, there's millions.
Well,
I'm
Are you
interested.
attending Travis Scott
I'm
concerts
so
or
down
whatever?
for it. I would attend Travis Scott concert not just for Travis Scott, just to see even if Fortnite is not my cup of tea in terms of a battle royale or a game as a whole, just to see a new way they're kind of taking how they're putting in an actual
that's
concert
impressive. It's
into a video
if-
game.
The first time I heard this story, my mind didn't get it. I kept thinking it's like during a battle royale match, and you have to like hide and try to listen. Like that didn't make any sense to me. But if you literally can choose an option to just watch a concert and you're not actually playing the battle royale match, then I guess it makes sense. And it is kind of cool. It's definitely looks like the future, especially if we're not able to have gatherings of like more than 500 people or something ever again because of coronavirus and stuff like that. So, I mean, that maybe this is it. This is how all summer concerts we're going to be sitting in our basements on our laptop inside of Fortnite now. I mean, Jeff, would you go watch Blink 182 and Fortnite?
I would probably go. Yeah, I mean
Heck
that's
yeah.
what I'm in. That's what I'm interested in. Is like even though you didn't care
Right,
for
right.
Travis
If
Scott,
they switch it
if
up.
if other artists or bands started getting on board with this, like it could become something new. I feel like if this really became super
You're gonna
popular,
charge for it now.
you're not. They're gonna do some other separate program to do it. Like you're not gonna be jumping
No.
into Fortnite. They're gonna
The
have like
Ticketmaster concerts
you know,
live.
yeah,
Yeah.
Live
Live
Nation
Nation
presents. Watch me do this in VR or something. Like a VR one would be sweet, you know.
Yeah, that would be cool.
It's
So,
exciting,
that's what
but it's
interests
also
me.
so sad that now we're taking away like I don't know. I don't know if I like it. I think it's cool because this is technology we're moving forward, but now I'm getting old and I'm not liking the change because taking away these
These young
people
people,
these
Old
days in
man
their
Kevin.
Fortnite. I just am not ready for this. I want to go back and sit on a hill and drink beer and listen to a concert. I don't want to go into Fortnite and do this.
I love these new kids, and they're coming up with new ways that they want to interact with music and gaming. And if they want to see Travis Scott
They're gonna
in
ruin
a
it for
virtual
us. I don't
reality
want it. I'm
setting,
not ready for the change.
I embrace it, man. I'll go watch. You know what? It could have been an artist I have absolutely no interest in, but I think that just the fact that, and Travis Scott, by mind you, is huge into Fortnite. Doesn't really add to it so much, but he's promoted the game a lot, which I believe is the main reason why they let him be the feature musical event of their game. So, you know, it could be almost any artist that really happened to do it, but just the fact that look at this. Think of it in this sense. You don't particularly know Travis Scott so much, right? After
Not
this,
personally.
Well, personally, I wouldn't
after
say
this,
we're not on that level. He prefers
no. Well,
Sir
maybe
Travis.
maybe we'll get there after. But you don't know him as an artist now, but you know that 27 million people who also probably don't know who the hell Travis Scott is attended a 3-day event
3
featuring
days.
him.
Wait, is
And
this
that's-
like Coachella and
and-
Fortnite?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Because it was 3 days separated. They had one per the 19th,
what's
the
difference?
20th, or something.
Is he actually singing live doing this, or is it just like some Spotify recording that they're playing in front of an animated figure? Like,
I think it was a Spotify. I think it was a recording
why
in
would
front
you-
of the with him
that's
like
no different than watching a
standing
music
up
video
there.
at that point, but like our animated music video.
It's literally the next step of music into gaming. It's a way to meld
It's a way to
two.
market. That's what it is.
Did you go to any of the days?
No,
He didn't get a
unfortunately,
wristband. He
I
couldn't
don't.
get
I don't
You
have.
sound so into this though. I'm surprised.
I didn't have Fortnite
Zahi, turn
downloaded
around. Let's see your back.
during the
Where's your
time that it
Travis
played.
Scott tattoo?
Yo, man,
Your
it's,
ass
it's,
or on your
it's right on
shoulder?
my it's right on my
Okay.
heart. It's right on the heart.
It's right next to his Fortnite
Yeah.
tattoo.
There's
I
probably
wanna-
a Travis Scott poster behind his head or something.
You're so
Yeah.
passionate about this.
It's under
I
the
think,
mic.
Honestly, my opinion, it's dumb. But obviously there's a market for this, and millions of people went and saw it, and it's exciting.
Have-
I just think it's stupid.
You know what it is? Next time they do one of these things, us four we gotta suck it up and just go into Fortnite and just spend like 30 minutes and just watch whoever the hell it is. I don't know. Cole
How
Random,
many-
like Santana.
I'd be down.
How many of those, like, was it like 27 million people? How many of them were like brand new level 1 characters with no
How
gear?
many of them were bots
Like,
too?
how
made
many
by
of them-
Russians that are just getting paid to fill the audience?
You should check it out.
Vlad
You know, I think
706.
that's a good statistic.
paid by Travis Scott.
Paid
Yeah.
by Travis
All
Scott.
right, so that's our. We'll
We
we'll
should
leave it
check it
here.
out.
Next concert, we will all attend, and we'll see how it goes, and we'll bring feedback here. I can't give my full opinion without going. My initial thoughts are it's dumb, but I can't say it's dumb officially until I try it. So I'll leave it there, and I'll shut my mouth. We can move on.
Fair.
I watched
Right.
the actual like concert after it got fully recorded, and it was really, really cool, man.
It's,
Yeah,
it's a
I
music
know, like
video. It's not a performance. There's no. He could sound like shit, and then he fixes it up and puts it out there.
Was he doing it live
we-
and they were like sending it
We
into
already,
the?
I think for what he said, it's like a recording. It's not like it was even lip synced. It was just he had a time to mix it and put it out and sound great. Half the fun going to live concerts is you can see if they suck or not live. Like that's half the fun. I don't know. Okay, letting it go. We're gonna attend a
All right,
concert.
yes.
What's our next news story?
Yeah. Link Cable field trip. So next story on the list. So Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming to Xbox Game Pass in May. At the detriment of Grand Theft Auto 5. So that is leaving Game Pass. What do you guys think? Those are two huge games, both Rockstar. Rockstar
they're both
properties.
Rockstar. So let's go around our little table thing here. Who has played Grand Theft Auto 5 before Game Pass? Let's start with this. So who has? Just say I. So nobody. Nobody's played Grand Theft Auto 5 before Game Pass.
We suck.
Nope.
Has no one played Grand Theft Auto 5? It's like the best-selling game of all time.
I have played it.
I
have kind of played it. I've installed it, and I played the tutorial beginning.
Kevin owns it 4 times.
I own it on 360 and PC and Xbox One, and I've barely touched the beginning of the game.
So that is something I want to say. So I've never played Grand Theft Auto 5, but I do own it. And I own it on Xbox 360 because it's weird that it exists on Xbox 360.
I have it on 360
right?
It is. I will say it's
So
funny for us to have talked about these very obscure games at the beginning of the show, and then the best-selling game pretty much ever, we've not even touched.
Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto.
So
20 minutes of Mario Maker 2.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So okay, we got that. Who has played Red Dead Redemption 2 before it is coming to Game Pass? Okay,
I have played Red Dead Redemption.
Jeff, no. Okay.
Not.
So Grand Theft Auto 5 came to Game Pass in, I believe, January of this year, and it is already leaving. What are our thoughts on that part of this? I'm very shocked that it was a big deal. It was all over Twitter. It's coming to Game Pass. Here it comes, and they're already getting rid of it already. What? Why? They have to pay a lot of money for this to be on there. Or?
My only opinion on that, or my only thought on that, is that so many people have already bought GTA 5 that maybe it wasn't moving the needle on Game Pass subscriptions.
That could be.
That people have already played this game before. Not us.
And it was only Xbox. It wasn't on PC Game Pass. It was only Xbox.
No, yeah, not PC Game
now,
Pass.
Jeff, you only have Game Pass, I know, on PC. I know just from previous info.
Yeah.
If it was on PC, Grand Theft Auto 5, would you play it?
No.
Really? Why is everybody so Grand Theft Auto anti Grand Theft Auto?
I think it's one of those things for me. It's a great game. It looks super fun, but I know that you're going to be sinking like 100 hours into GTA 5 and this big open world and all these side things to do. And I don't know. I'm not ready for that undertaking yet. Like it's too much. It's too much to handle for me. I feel like I need to be mentally prepared to jump into that kind of world. And I know that they have the online aspect, and that's what I think didn't click for them either. Was I bet they were hoping to get this into Game Pass. You're gonna have all these people coming in to play online. They're gonna spend all their money. The whales are gonna come right in, and then maybe it just didn't, like you said, it didn't move the needle on it. So. That's what I think happened.
Okay, so now we're getting like we just said, the news. It's Grand Theft Auto's leaving, which is a bit of a shocker, and now Red Dead Redemption.
Well, wait, hold on. How come you guys didn't play Grand Theft Auto 5?
I never really got a good chance to play GTA 5. GTA 5 launched when I was smack dab in the middle of starting school. And I knew that if I got into GTA 5 at that point in time...
I bet if Travis Scott was in it, you would have played it.
I'm invested.
I would have definitely played if Travis Scott was in it. Hey, man, I'll take any publicity media stunt we can get
Jeff,
on this channel.
I'm on board, and the reason why I haven't played it very much, other than I probably have an hour tops into each version that I own. It's the same thing. You get in it, you're like, this is just so overwhelming, and it becomes like... stressful as soon as I start playing it. I'm like, I'm not ready for this. I don't want to. I have a lot of like game anxiety from these giant ass games like Witcher 3 and Grand Theft Auto 5, and like there's just too much to do. I don't want to do this. This is just like work. It's not fun. And even though there's fun things to do, for some reason sometimes I need to find the game that just walks me through what I like, and that's a Kevin game.
And that game especially, because you pretty much when you start, you can go do whatever the hell you want.
So I don't know.
Like, there's really no gate to anything. So,
but. Anyways, going back to it leaving. So that's been kind of quietly under the table. They're trying to say, oh, yeah, this Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming. Grand Theft Auto 5 is going. They're not really saying that part out loud too much. But I am a little surprised that Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming because that has been out for not that long, I feel like.
About a year?
Right?
It
came out last...
it's over a year
was
now.
Was it last spring? Or
no,
last...
It came out in October.
2 years. Yeah,
so
year and a half.
Wow.
Came out.
Time flies, man. That does not seem like it came out that long ago.
Yeah, because its PC release was like after the 1
And
year
it's
anniversary.
only coming to
I'm pretty
Game
sure.
Pass Xbox, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I
That
don't think
sucks.
PC.
I would like to run that. See, I own that game also. I've never played it. I finished. When it came out, it looks like October of 2018. Then I started playing and trying to finish the original Red Dead Redemption.
I remember
And
that.
I
Yeah.
actually
Red Dead Revolver.
No, I didn't go that far. But I played Red Dead Redemption 1, and I had a blast on the Xbox One playing that because it jumped to 4K and the Xbox One X, and it looked great. And I was very happy playing through that. I guess I'm excited to say it's coming.
Get burned out.
A little bit. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not excited for it. Like I said, I own it, and I've never even opened it. It's still in shrink wrap. So now that it's coming to Game Pass, I'm like, well, maybe I can just play it in here and never open it, and now I have some random collector's item. I don't know. This old roommate. So why haven't you ever tried it then? I feel like you would like, because you do like these big ass games with tons of side quests and stuff. It's just so surprising with you because I mean I know your gaming history. You love these big ass games. Witcher 3. You went to every side quest. You're playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey right now.
In the water.
Yeah,
We're back.
I'm so confused why these games are Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead are like the best of those, and you haven't touched them.
Red Dead. I think because there's more chance for me. I think because it's newer.
Really?
Yeah. I am
like
interested in it. If it came to Game Pass, I might have tried it on PC.
I mean, okay, do you guys? They're kind of the same game. They're do anything you want, just different time periods, right? So I mean, do you guys prefer the Grand Theft Auto setting of it, or do you prefer the cowboy that world?
I prefer the Red Dead Redemption setting of of cowboys, and it's I've grown up with a lot of Western influences around me, with a lot of.
I grew up on a farm, and I have a cow, and I'm a boy
with a hat
and a hat.
So I've had a lot of influencing Western movies and themes in my life. So I like Red Dead Redemption. Even like the first one, I would have picked it over, say, 4 or 5 at the time that GTA came out. So I'm more excited to play finally Red Dead 2 than let's just say they both came out at the same time, same quality. Mm-hmm. Red Dead 2 is more my cup of tea in terms of what I want to play. I like the lonesome rider, trailblazing on a horse kind of aesthetic in a game,
Okay. Alex, and what about you? Are you more the modern city Grand Theft Auto guy, or do you prefer the Red Dead Redemption?
I think I'll go back and forth between them, but like once a decade. I'll do in the 2000s, I played a lot of GTA, 3, San Andreas Vice City, and 4.
There it is.
Yeah. And then
me too, actually.
Yeah, I definitely did because I was a child and I wasn't allowed to play it, so I had to try to play.
Yeah, you had to play it. Yeah. It's like kids, they're Travis Scott. You gotta listen to it.
You're Travis Scott.
But then when 5 came out, I was like, I'll get it a bit later. And then the hype train for Red Dead Redemption 2 started building up. I was like, I really want to play that. And I was just not really into the modern setting for GTA 5.
Yeah, I get you. I hookers. I get it.
Yeah, it's not my not one of my favorite hobbies.
Not the MO.
But I really like GTA maybe I like quirky games. I really liked Vice City and San Andreas because they were a little weird. They had that really boisterous, loud personality, whereas 4 and 5 were really just it's a city, and it's okay, where's the character to it, and I like that about Red Dead Redemption 2, where it's it's your little cowboy simulator, and it's just yeehaw, I'm gonna go rob some trains.
I would definitely pick Cowboy World too. Jeff, what about you?
I don't know. I think I like both of them. I think right now I'd have to probably pick the Western Red Dead Redemption 2. It's a newer game. I feel like it probably just has a little bit more polish. Like you said, the other GTA 5 came out on 360. I mean, I'm sure they've done improvements to it, but I don't know. I like the new shiny thing.
So now, if this came, now I asked you about GTA 5 on PC, you would probably skip it. If Red Dead Redemption 2 came to Game Pass PC, would you play that?
I would probably play it.
Okay.
I'd give it a try, yeah. And I think if GTA 6 were to come out like within the next year or two, I might be interested in that one.
So you're kind of caught up on it being an older game, though, right? Is that kind of?
I think I am. I think that's like the roadblock.
Honestly,
I have now.
I don't think it is not a game that has any age to it at all. If you play the PC version of it, you would not even like, if I told you this came out last month, you'd believe me. It's that well polished and stuff.
You're probably right.
It's not a game like I have to try to pretend like, oh yeah, the controls are not bad, they're good. No, it plays just like a game that you'd play pretty modern. So
yeah. And I'm pretty sure even though it came out on like last gen systems, it was like those versions were made after the fact. That's why I was like, I liked getting the 360 version of GTA 5 because it's weird. Like it's like, oh wow, like this should like what is it like 10 discs?
Times.
Yeah, it should not run on the Xbox 360.
It does actually run decent. Because that's where I got it on too.
And it's hilarious. I love stuff like that. Like I am just like I'm like, oh, that's so weird. I want to I'll never play it on 360. There are better ways to play GTA 5, but I like being like, look at this weird thing I can show and tell to people.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, Kevin, like when I was building my computer in August and I was looking at graphics cards, and they'd benchmark it against GTA 5.
Yeah, it's
so
a
like
big game.
It's still pretty graphically impressive, I'm sure.
Game.
Yes. Yeah.
So overall, I think we all are a little bit excited for this to come to Game Pass. Those of us that can play it.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
No.
I bought
for it.
I ended up buying it on Xbox One, so I'm not. For me, it doesn't.
It doesn't move the needle at all. I get too excited and hyped. I buy all these games, I don't play them, and then they end up coming out for free somewhere, and I already own them. I'm like, shit.
I'm still not used to that. You will get this for free eventually. I'm still not for free. You pay for a subscription.
But it's even harder because then they come out and it's like, look, Grand Theft Auto 5 was only, if let's say I didn't own it not 3 times, I would be pretty pissed. They only put it on here for like 3 months and they take it off. Like,
yep. That's true.
Well, that happened with you in Tomb Raider,
yeah.
right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I don't think I ever mentioned that on this podcast. I was playing Shadow of a Tomb Raider, which I think is the name of the newest one. And I'm on the very last level, and it came off Game Pass, and I was so pissed.
Ooh.
I'm like, do I have to go buy this now? And I just like, gonna have to wait. Maybe it'll come back, or they'll give it to Games with Gold.
YouTube videos.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't want. To me, watching the YouTube video doesn't do it. I want that achievement that says you're done, and I can feel like I checked it off my list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only played the demo of that game at
so
E3, and I really liked it. And I was like, I'm gonna go home and play this and like buy it when I get home. I still have not done it.
It's so good. So side note on this story, I literally had 2 games back to back that I played through and I didn't finish because, well, Tomb Raider came off of Game Pass, and then Shadow of War I was playing on that, but I have 2 different Xboxes I was playing it on, upstairs and my downstairs one. And somehow the cloud saves got mixed up, and I oversaved it with a previous save, and I lost like 2.5 hours of gameplay. And I just could not go back to it, and I'm so sad because that game was so good, and I know I need to just plow through it and finish it because I'm close towards the end. But
I think you just need to take a break, and then eventually you'll forget and be like, "Oh, this is kind of fresh and new."
That game is so good. I'm just depressed, and we got T-shirts for it too. When Jeff and I went to E3, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, that was cool.
All right, we can put this one down. What's the next news story?
Yeah, so next news story, nice little segue. It's almost as if it was set up this way on purpose. So we talked about the Xbox. Now for PlayStation, it looks like some of their games leaked for next month. So we don't actually know this. Happy. This is a rumor. This is an LC rumors. But it seems like the PS Plus games for May are going to be the original Dark Souls and Dying Light. So I have played one half of those games, and I enjoyed that one half of those games. So
wait, you didn't play Dying Light?
Which half was that?
I did not play Dying Light. I played Dark Souls.
Really?
So it's not
I'm the other half.
Yeah,
the other half.
So it's not the original Dark Souls; it's the remaster, Alex.
How? Okay, that's different.
Super.
In a 20-second summary, what is the difference between the two?
Graphics, updates to textures, multiplayer functionality. You can roll around differently, better quick saving, more areas, and you have like better tracking on bosses. And some of the multiplayer elements that were in the original Dark Souls got revamped so that they're more modern. Because there were some items you can't, even if you were to play Dark Souls 1 right now, it would be impossible to do because some of the requirements meant you had to kill like 1,000 PvP players. And I don't think there's, well, probably there is in the servers, but it would be impossible to get that done in today's age.
Okay,
so just some like tweaks.
So it's the remastered version with all that stuff. That's not too bad. So okay, I played both. I'm gonna ask the two that I played. Well, Zahi, did you play both those games?
I did not play Dying Light, so
Really?
if this rumor ends up being very true, I am going to be so excited because I really want to try Dying Light. I heard it was an amazing title.
So I was playing.
Yeah.
I played through most of the game. Some of my friends ended up playing without me because we were all playing co-op. Hint, hint, Jeff. And I never finished
The
it.
schedules don't line up. You guys know how.
Yeah, and he just keeps going and never tells me we keep playing. And I go,
You guys know how
let's
it
play
is.
some Dying Light again. And they're like, are you gonna tell him or am I gonna tell him? We actually finished it without you. So I never actually finished the game. Sorry, but I have
It was
played
like
both.
2 or 3 years ago. You can tell he's still upset
Yeah, well,
about
I'm still a
it.
little salty about that. Okay, so I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna question you all and quiz you of why you have not played the game.
Wait, did you beat it?
No, I never. It's not fun by myself. I only played with my friends, and they all screwed me
It's
over.
like that moving out game.
What? Yeah, it's like that moving out game. It's not fun by yourself.
Not fun, I guess.
Okay, so Jeff, let's put you in the hot seat. So you play Dying Light. Give me your quick 20 seconds. What do you think of that? Do you like it?
All right, I have on Steam. I have 65 hours of Dying Light played. I played all of the DLC. I played this game.
Nice.
Wow.
On the store, it has 120,000 very positive reviews. This is a great game. Graphics top notch, story amazing, the atmosphere so good, RPG aspects, I loved it. I loved all of this game. I'm super pumped for Dying Light 2. If you have not played it, starting May, whenever the heck this thing comes out, go download it and go play it because it is so good.
Did you play it again?
Great zombie game. I don't think I'd play it again. I spent enough time in the world, but I'm definitely excited for Dying Light 2, and I know that's supposed to come out relatively soon.
They keep pushing it, and they delayed it indefinitely, I believe. So,
this game is super fun. There's like parkour elements in it too, which I thought was really cool.
It is. The parkour
there's
is
a
really
day-night
fun.
cycle, so when it becomes nighttime, it gets like
Hard.
a very creepy element. But
I heard about that.
All your XP gains are doubled,
Yeah,
so
you
it's
guys
kind of
gotta
an
play it.
incentive
It is really
to stay out.
fun.
It's
Bit
super
of a risk reward system they've got in place.
And well, dang it, I have it on PC. I was gonna say I know someone who needs to finish it if you want to play with me, but it's gonna be an Xbox or a
I think
PS4.
Evan hasn't beaten it yet, so maybe if you guys want to play with him.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, Jeff, so you have not played.
That's a good endorsement, thoh.
Yeah, no, it's super fun.
You have not played Dark Souls, though. Tell me about that.
I mean, Dark Souls, the whole series to me, it's not something. I'm a gamer where I like to see my progression in the screen in front of me, and I think Dark Souls was you had to practice a lot of the bosses, and you had to learn their repetition, learn their patterns, learn their moves, all that kind of stuff, and then when you finally beat it after 2 hours of trying, you're like super pumped, and that just doesn't interest me. So I tried playing Dark Souls 3 for like 2 hours, and I refunded it on Steam. It just wasn't doing it for me. So
really, even Dark Souls 3, it's compared to the others, it's much more modern and kind of more accepting of new players.
He's making fun of you.
Yeah,
You're saying it's easy and you suck.
I kept
No,
dying
I
on
just
the
translated
boss.
for you.
Like, this is stupid.
You
I don't want
suck,
to do
you
this
casual
anymore.
gamer. You go play
I
your
don't think I've-
pay-to-win games.
Every time I have this opinion, everyone is always like, "Are you kidding me?" I've never had one person go, "Jeff, you know what? You're 100% right."
Definitely. You know what? And I am one of the biggest Soulsborne fans you could get.
Fans.
Love Travis Scott. And I can really understand where you're coming through. There's definitely once you hit a boss and you beat it, you get that real big bunch of endorphins. And then you literally take three steps out and there's a new enemy and it completely wipes the floor with you.
Yep.
Like 100%.
You know, and as I'm making fun of Jeff, it's just fun because he's an easy target, but I also do agree with him. I hate those games. I try over and over. I've tried Dark Souls.
I thought you were liking them lately.
I do. It's like I like them, and then 2.5 hours later, I still can't beat the boss I'm on, and I hate it again. Like, everything about it is cool. Like, the weapons are awesome. It looks cool. The world's really cool, and running around, and you feel badass, and then you just die, and then I lose all my experience because I'm not good enough to go get it, and I just wasted 2 hours of my time. That is not. It's not fun for me. Everything about it except for the fact that I die over and over, I can't do. I got into. Actually, I think Jeff, you played Neo with me, and it's such a fun game. I like the combat. I love it. I wish you could just have an easy mode, and I'm not good enough to get past some of these things. I played Surge. I couldn't get past half the game, and that game was too hard. Bloodborne, I couldn't do. I mean, I play them all because it's like I always think this is it. I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna finally do it. Can't. Dark Souls 1 is the only one I've never actually played. I played Dark Souls 2, 3, and then a handful of the other stuff, but. I guess if it's free, I'll try it.
People like them. It just doesn't do it for me.
So would you try it now that it's free in PlayStation Plus? Well, if it's free in PlayStation Plus, Jeff.
I mean, this is the first one. I probably wouldn't bother with it. No.
The remaster has made it so that the quality level of it is something comparable to Dark Souls 3 or even Sekiro or Bloodborne to that point.
Oh, Sekiro.
So if you want it, So if you want to get into it.
Game. I hated that game so much.
Sekiro,
and then it won Game of the Year.
I did my review.
Vomit. I was so pissed.
It did not win Game of the Year on a reputable website like ours. Let's put it that way.
I remember my friend was playing it, and he was on this boss, and I went out. I did, I exercised. I made some lunch. I did some other stuff. I came back like 4 hours later. He's still fighting the same boss. I'm like, dude, what is wrong with you?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. That is exactly how it is.
I got Sekiro. I got it from GameFly used. I got it for like $15. I was like, you know what? This is it. I'm gonna play it. The game opens. It looks nice. I'm all excited again. I get that like, okay. And I'm playing with my buddy. He's sitting next to me, and I'm fighting. He's like, just skip all these guys. Just go to the boss. You don't have to fight him. I'm like, what do you mean I have to fight these guys? Who wants to play a game and run right to one guy, fight him for 4 hours, and then move on? Like, I guess apparently a lot of people
don't play the game.
It's stupid.
Don't play the game.
Why
Just
is
go
this
to the
Game
boss.
of the Year material when you don't even have to play the game? Like, that's dumb. What other game would ever be like that where you could just skip everything and it's still a great game? It doesn't make any sense to me.
You're gonna get trashed if you do that, though.
Yeah, well,
I get
trashed
the first fight
against
Genichiro.
I don't know. Okay, I will lay down my sword for literally on Dark Souls because it's just not a series for me either.
The first fight against Genichiro is an incredible foil to the main character. It is one of the best intro fights ever. You lose no matter what you do because Genichiro always stomps you.
I hate. You know what? And I hate these Dark Souls type games and Bloodborne or whatever the hell they're called. Because you know what they did? They ruined Zelda 2. Because they went and took a series I liked and they made it too damn hard for me to play. I'm not good enough and there's not an easy mode, damn it. I don't like this shit.
I don't know if anyone knows this. I tweet it every so often because I like to get the responses. And I don't want to derail the conversation. I just kind of want to, you mentioned Zelda 2. Zelda 2 is better than Zelda 1.
No, I mean it ruined Zelda also, like Breath of the Wild. Like, that's what I mean.
Oh, I understand what you mean. All right, sorry. I take it. I don't take back what I said, but I take back where I said it.
I was like, wait a second. Like, no, I mean Breath of the Wild because now it's like a Dark Souls type game almost, and I can't play it.
So, Alex, are you a big Souls guy then?
No, I played the first one. So I did review Dark Souls Remastered for linkcable.com. I keep plugging the website. You guys should check it out. I did review the Remastered. I never played the original, so my kind of impression of what was better in it was kind of like, this is just kind of what it is. I played the first one. I liked it. I didn't think it was... So here's the thing is, and I don't want to sound like I'm bragging because the game did give me a bit of a hard time, but I didn't think it was hard. I thought it was cheap. I didn't... I've played hard games before, and I didn't feel like this was me becoming better at the game. It was more just me learning the game. Once I got there, I was like, oh, this is fine. And I was kind of like cruising through whatever boss I was fighting. You kind of just build that muscle memory. You build that kind of like reacting to whatever is happening on screen. And it wasn't the game doesn't ever change its challenge to adapt to you. It just keeps throwing the same challenge at you over and over until you figure it out. And I think for me, I was like, oh, this is the challenge? Because I was thinking like, is it like so hard because the game like changes its strategies, or you have to outsmart the AI of the bosses? It never felt that way to me. And again, like I've played the first one. Like there's 3 Dark Souls games. There's Bloodborne, there's Sekiro, and there's Demon Souls, which was before. I think that's the all of them.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're all like that. It felt very much like once you figure out the pattern, you are gold.
I mean, that's exactly it. That's you find that, but that pattern can be so difficult and so time consuming to figure. And I feel like you don't get anything out other than the fact that I beat that. Like and I think Jeff, you mentioned this with some other game where it's like if I'm not, maybe it was this. You just said I'm not getting anything for doing this. It just seems like I just did it for my own enjoyment, and I don't get that feeling of great, look at me. It's like give me something new, give me something that's worth my time, and it never seems like you get anything that's really that. Yeah,
are you looking to get something more in terms of an in-game thing, like an item, or are you looking more for a personal satisfaction?
Personal satisfaction is just not there for me. Like, to me, it's weird because some games I will get personal satisfaction from complete, like my Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider game. Like, if I just finished the game, I would feel that personal, like I did it, I feel good. I can check it off my list, and it feels like I've accomplished something. If I beat a boss or something in Dark Souls, I just don't care. I don't know. It's weird. And Jeff, I do think you feel the same way, so hopefully you can back me up here.
No, I mean, that's exactly, yeah, I like to, beat a boss, you get a ton of experience, you can go make your guys stronger, you get some new ability or something. And I know that they have RPG elements in it, but I feel like the RPG elements are more like an area you want to improve rather than making your overall character stronger. So like you can get more health or you can get more attack. It's not like you're getting both, right?
I would like, if I could make the Dark Souls series better in a sentence, I would say it's boss AI is where it needs to, like, the bosses need to have variety to them, where they, like, let's say you challenge a boss a bunch of times and it keeps beating you, the boss learns from your tactics and you have to adapt to some new tactics that it's throwing out. I think it's a lot of pattern recognition, which is like, I enjoyed playing through the first game. I definitely but I didn't feel like I finished anything special when I finished it. I felt like I finished another game. I was like, oh, there it is, done.
That's a surprise to hear, Alex. Usually people, when they beat Dark Souls, especially Dark Souls 1, it's usually a very cathartic moment. Dark Souls 1 has, like, a lot of people who end up beating the first Dark Souls, specifically that one, more than any other, maybe other than Bloodborne, have a huge sense of almost catharsis, like it was a gaming milestone of challenge.
I think I did that at a point, not with Dark Souls, and I don't want to just get too off track, but I did that at one point when I was younger. There was a game that I couldn't beat. It's a brutally difficult game. It's F-Zero GX on the GameCube. And I couldn't beat it.
Amazing.
I couldn't beat it, and I played it, and Jacob saw me play it, so if anyone doubts this, he can back it up. But I played that game for like 300 hours, trying to fuck every single thing, and I got it. And I got to that point where it wasn't fun anymore. I was just playing it to beat it.
Oh, that sounds
rough. Once I did it, I've never gone back to that game again. It's a fine game. It's a good game. But my save file, 100% save file, I've got all the AX tracks, like all the arcade stuff that was like super hard to unlock. I've got it all, and like I had that moment of catharsis of like that. Oh, I've done it. And after that, like pretty much right after that is when I started playing Animal Crossing.
So it's like, right under your resume. It's like, oh, I did this, like Cable, and oh yeah, I can 100% at F-Zero.
Yeah, and like I could never do that again. Those are skills that, yeah, and I feel like that is kind of maybe where you're coming from, Zai, where it was like that, oh, I did it, and like I feel like that's a feeling you can only really have one or two times, and like I had it. It's nothing to me. It'll top that challenge, and I beat Dark Souls 1. It did not take me 300 hours, so like I was like, okay, this is now in the past.
You know what I'm gonna laugh at is, and as soon as we put this episode up tomorrow, it comes out, and the free game is something completely different than everything we've just talked about.
Yeah,
I'd laugh.
Yeah,
it's this month's free game is moving out.
Surprise. So what is our, seeing as how I believe we're done with Dark Souls Remastered and Dying Light, what is our final conversation piece for the evening, which
we got a couple more to go through.
nice.
So this one is kind of a breaking news. So Sony has
Yes,
the release dates for 2 games that people might have heard about. So The Last of Us 2 is coming out in June, and Ghost of Tsushima is coming out in July. So Ghost of Tsushima actually got delayed a little bit to make room for Last of Us Part 2. So this kind of came out of the blue. In this pandemic world, most news comes out of the blue these days. Like, there hasn't been a major event to have news at lately. Last of Us 2 is in June, and Ghost of Tsushima is in July, which is, I think, a lot sooner for Last of Us 2 than I was.
I did not expect Last of Us 2 until September.
That's exactly when I thought it was coming out.
Final quarter, Christmas time, I did not even think it was coming out in the next little while. Yeah. And for Ghost of Tsushima to even be coming out that soon as well. What is going on there? I'm impressed.
Well, let's hope it doesn't slide or anything else because of Corona issues or something like that. Because this is definitely one of the few games I'm very excited for this year that has not been delayed beyond 2020.
Ghost?
What's that?
Ghost of Tsushima?
No, well, I get that one I am excited, but more I think Last of Us 2 because I really enjoyed the first one, and I think Jeff, you are playing through the first Last of Us right now, actually for the first time, right?
Yeah, I PS4 I just got it, a few months ago. So I got Last of Us, the remaster, I think, on one of the PlayStation for the months. And I'm, I've been playing it for the last few months, but I only have 5 hours in it. So
it's a beautiful game.
I'm having trouble getting grabbed into it and really just wanting to play. But I've heard so many amazing things from so many people that I feel like I just need to suck it up and just start playing it just to get into it, because I know it's probably an amazing game from everything I've heard.
The Last of Us 1, throughout the entire game, and not to, if you're going through it for the first time, amazing. But I'll tell you something. I'm a huge narrative person. I will forgive many gameplay mechanics if you can hook me into whatever it is you're selling, that's just especially the type of gamer I am. I like a good story. I like, good production. And I'll tell you,
Scott concert.
Good Travis Scott concerts, bring us into that. But The Last of Us 2, from beginning to end, was a 100% quality game, and I want that for The Last of Us 2 very much so.
Yeah, I definitely agree with exactly what you're saying. The whole game, I enjoyed the first one, and there was I got hooked in so quickly, and I played it probably about 2 or 3 years after release too. So what is, Jeff? What is?
I don't know what my issue is.
So what is it? Give us your thoughts. If you have to brainstorm, what's holding you back, or why you're not interested to play? Explain, because I think we're all a little flabbergasted. Because Alex, are you in agreement with us? Was this a game that grabbed you, or?
Yeah, I have not actually played through it, but I did. No, I'm a heathen.
Oh.
But I have watched the game played from start to finish.
Okay, so we'll give you a pass here. So Jeff, let's hear your reasonings now.
Wait, what's Alex's opinion on it? Am I crazy?
No, my opinion on it is that it was a perfect game to end last generation. Last generation, I got to that point where this was the best possible game that you could make.
They could end on.
Yeah, the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, that it could not, that was the pinnacle of it. So it was a really nice I was watching
transition.
Yeah, it was. And then to have Sony, because the remaster came out really early in the PS4, I really liked how they kind of had that it's ending this generation, starting this one, and it was kind of a nice. It fit for both. It looks like Last of Us 2 will do that as well.
Yeah,
but that's just smart.
The game itself, I thought, was probably one of the most cinematically impressive games I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
It was usually usually I'm the type of person that was like, I don't want to watch you play. I want to play it myself. I had no problems doing this because it was like a movie. I'm a bit of a backseat gamer. I have a couple of friends who they still say I ruined Ocarina of Time for them, just being like, oh, like what if you go in that cave? I wonder what's in there. But
I wish you could do that for me. I want to play Ocarina so bad.
Ocarina is great. It's just that I know that game like the back of my hand. I could get 100% completion in that game for like by memory. I beat it so many times.
300 hours.
No, Ocarina is like 10 hours, like 15 hours.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not very long. Well, it's 64. Anyway, we're not talking about Ocarina. So Last of Us, it was like watching a movie, and I really enjoyed that. Like I thought it was really cool. It was a nice duality too, because I was watching someone play it, and I was playing Mario Kart on my Switch, so they're going like through like these really like
intense,
serious, intense moments that like
you're throwing a blue shell.
Clearly designed to be.
Yeah, well, a banana.
A banana.
Yeah, clearly designed to be tear jerkers, and all you hear from the Switch is whoa.
But anyway, Jeff, what can we do to convince you? Like I just want you to experience everything all of us have talked about this game and how great it is, and then the second one coming out, I want you to jump into it with all of us at the same time and just feel that emotion for this game. It's just so good.
Jeff, I think I misunderstood. You said you got about 4 hours into it, but are you going to continue playing it, or are you kind of just?
I'm planning to, yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
I think with the second one now getting this announced release date, like it's gonna hopefully motivate me to play
it's
it.
Here.
Yeah, it's real now. Yeah, like we're
in the end game now.
I know the hype around this game, and I've heard so many good things about this. Like Kevin, you said it's one of the best games you've ever played, which for yourself, you've played a ton of games. That means a lot. My friend said it was one of the best games he's ever played, and I know he's played a ton of games, and like you guys are both talking pretty highly of it. So I feel like I just need to play. I mean, the issues I have with it are more the narrative. It starts a little slow.
It does,
and I think it's taking a little bit of time to get the story moving. Like you kind of start off in her house, and the zombies start attacking, and then you escape through that. It's like the prologue in a way. And then you end up in this town, and then it's like you don't see zombies for a few hours. So it took me away from it for a little bit. Like I had to kind of slodge through that. The controls are a little bit wonky. I think just because it's from a PS3 era or it's Naughty Dog. I'm not really sure. The gunplay is kind of dated. The way you like the way you shoot the gun, the way you reload is kind of funky. You have to like tap the R2 button. And then for this is more of a personal thing, but the game seems very stealth based, which isn't bad, but I like games where I can kind of maybe try stealth, and then if I fail, I'll just go in and kill everyone. This one, it kind of feels like you need to really do stealth, or else you're going to get overrun and died. So it kind of slows the game down in my mind, and it takes me a little longer to get through things.
Maybe you should have your wife play it for you, and you can watch her play.
Yeah, I'll just go on my phone on Facebook or pull up a Travis Scott concert or something.
Yeah.
The other opinion about that is the fact that it feels more tactical. It feels a bit more, like there's more. You're not just gunning and running and gunning, because the setting it's in is meant to be apocalyptic. You know, so I feel like that you need to be stealthy. It kind of fits with the overall vibe of what they're doing. I'm upset that the multiplayer is not coming back, because the Last of Us multiplayer was a banger for me. I enjoyed the hell out of that. Me and my buddies would I know it's weird, but me and my buddies actually played the multiplayer portion of it, and it was so fun. So that's something.
I did not even know Last of Us had multiplayer.
I didn't either.
It was
like I had no idea.
Awesome. 100% awesome. So what it was basically like oh my god, how am I gonna so the multiplayer was like, you're not Joel or Ellie, you're not one of the characters, but essentially you go like on a couple of weeks progression system, and the more you played, depending on how well you do in the multiplayer matches, your community would either suffer or fail, and that would have to restart your campaign. So it was with the Fireflies and the essentially the Marauders. So it was, you picked a side which one you wanted to go to. And neither side really, I don't I don't recall having any major bearing. But it was like the more wins and losses you do, the more your community suffers, and it was just a fun experience. And crafting online and making like bombs and stuff while you're playing and running around, it is one stressful multiplayer experience that I have not felt in a
I didn't know
while.
it existed. No.
Amazing.
Well, Jeff.
Yeah, for the people who played it, we're sad that it's not coming back.
Jeff, hopefully we can report back, or you can report back in a few weeks and tell us you played it and enjoyed it thoroughly. That would make me very happy to hear that.
I will get it done before everything I've seen of Last of Us 2 looks amazing.
Yeah, time to put
So,
Lexio
I will
down
say
and
that.
whatever his name is.
I'm just having too much fun in Assassin's Creed Odyssey right now.
That is a good game too, but you gotta play
Yeah.
the games that are games that are like the games you have to play. That's one of them.
Jeff, stop having
Yeah,
fun.
stop
and go
having
play.
fun. Fight through this game with bad controls. You'll be fine.
Yeah, and empty gunplay. And
So, all right,
It is-
Alex, go ahead and
It is really interesting too, like that both these games, so Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima, will be out pretty much. Like, if the PlayStation 5 comes out in November, like everyone kind of assumes it will, that's 7 months almost. Am I doing my math right? It's like 5 months with no major first-party game for Sony. So it's kind of like, this is it for the PlayStation 4. We have moving
This is it
on
for, like,
to the
year.
next
There's,
thing.
like,
what about
there's, like,
Cyberpunk?
that's not first party though.
But first party, like
Okay, first
Sony.
party.
But yeah, but really outside of those couple games you've just mentioned there, even with Cyberpunk, like there's not really a lot of anything coming out that's officially announced, dated. Like, what else is like a big game coming out that's not been delayed indefinitely?
I'm thinking.
That we have a date for. Like I want to say like Halo, but we don't have a date for it.
I was gonna say Halo got also most likely will be pushed back.
So,
Here's
Well,
Tactics.
Gears Tactics is not a big game, Jeffrey.
and it's
I don't
out. It's out. It came out this week or last week.
Yeah.
All the Ubisoft games got delayed because they flat out said they're going next gen. So like, all like Watch Dogs Legion and the other one that looks really really good, but they never showed any gameplay. What am I thinking of? Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Oh, wow.
Like great trailers. I haven't seen a minute of the gameplay.
That's pretty
kind
much
of like
the
a
case
little
of
worried
gaming right
about
now.
it.
It's a bunch of great trailers and no real dates.
Yeah.
No, okay, we can let the story die too.
Yeah.
What do we got next, Alex?
Yeah. All right. So, last thing to wrap up our look at the news. There's a lot that happened this week. So this is actually something that's happening tomorrow, less than 24 hours from now. Google will be hosting a Stadia Connect. Yeah. They promise. The only thing they've promised that will be at
Promise
this
what, a full
show.
refund? Because I'll be happy.
Games. They said they have new
Oh,
games
great.
to
So
show for
what's
Stadia.
coming? Stardew Valley or something else that came out 6 years ago?
That's my prediction, is that they're going to show games that no one cares about anymore, because that is Stadia's MO. Stadia is all about making yesterday's releases seem like big deals again.
And there aren't even games that were good. It's not like it's coming out that some people are excited about. It's something that everyone already has and played 1,000 times. Oh, coming to Stadia, Half-Life 2. Like, nobody cares.
So who's an early adopter here?
I wanted to get Stadia just for the core concept of what it does, because I think Stadia as a concept is absolutely
So you're all
brilliant.
about the
I think as an
future and, like virtual concerts and stuff like that, right?
And that's I love that kind of stuff, man. So, but I
Stream
think
it
it's
in.
I think the
So much
execution
shade
of Stadia
tonight thrown at him.
could have gone so much
Well,
better.
if
like,
they had things to play,
100%.
I do agree. I think the future of it, streaming and the whole, if we can get it down and that latency is fixed and there's no like weird controller gameplay stuff and everything is great, I'm in.
Lying about 4K.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But the fact that everything that they promised was a lie, and the games that did work-ish sucked, and they want to charge money, and it just is a joke. It was a complete failure, and we should just all accept it's a failure. Google should just stop, take the people off that project, save them their careers, and move into something else, because it's a joke, and everybody knows it.
Yeah.
And I paid for it, and I bought it. And I was hugely disappointed because I bought into the hype and I was like, you know what, Google, you make a good phone. I'm in. I use your search engine and your email and your calendar. You can make Stadia. I bought in. This looks great. Garbage.
I want the people that made my calendar to make my video game system.
And somehow I thought that was going to be, but it was a damn lie.
Well, I mean, right off the bat, I had suspicions when it wasn't crossplay with any other major platform. So if your friends weren't on Stadia, good luck.
Oh, hey, Mr. Google, can we play with our friends on PC and Xbox? No, but you can play with all your Stadia friends. Hey, mister, I don't have any of those because your product sucks. Well, did I mention you could play Destiny 2 for free? Kinda. I hate it.
So I take it from reading the virtual room that there's not a lot of hype for their show tomorrow.
I am hoping that Stadia announces a new title, a completely new game. I think that is the best prediction you can have, because I think they need original IPs if they're going to be able to sustain it.
Rated, or just low tier leveled games. Like nothing they're going to announce is going to be good, because no game studio is going to give them their IP to go exclusive on this stupid device that nobody even. I feel like this is
what.
I'm pretty sure Stadia has 2 exclusives right now.
Yeah. What game do you think will go to Stadia?
Exactly, because nobody cares.
Let's see.
If you came out and said, "Oh, play Cyberpunk here first," then drop everything we got, and I'm there. But there's no reason for me to do it on your mediocre working system.
So I'm going to throw out a prediction, and I would like if we could all go around and say one prediction for tomorrow's show. And I'm going to tie it back to something we talked about earlier.
I think Stadia.
Oh no, better than that. Okay. I think Stadia is going to get a game, an older game, a game that came out on other systems, but has been recently removed from a certain subscription service. I think Grand Theft Auto 5.
Really?
Now that would be interesting.
I was gonna. I thought you were gonna say you think Fortnite, because that's my prediction. Is they put Fortnite on it.
No.
No.
I mean, that makes a lot more
Fortnite's
sense.
on everything. You can play it on a freaking Kindle. You can't play it on Stadia.
Yeah,
though.
that's true.
I mean, why wouldn't they?
Fortnite makes a lot of sense. But I'm going to stick with GTA 5. I'm going to say GTA 5 coming to Stadia.
Right. What about you, Zahi?
Not to derail you on that one, Alex. Google Stadia currently only has one exclusive game right now. Tequila Works' Guilt.
Oh, Guilt! Yeah, Guilt is actually Guilt is interesting. You guys should check out Guilt.
Yeah, you just have to go get Google Stadia first.
I believe, if I'm throwing it out, Death Stranding.
Ooh.
I think
that's a weird.
Totally
a hot take just came from my speakers.
Totally out of left field, but I feel like that would be a really good Stadia game with the mechanics of how Death Stranding works. I think that would be an interesting choice, because Death Stranding is a lot about linked environments. So I think that would be a really interesting choice.
A boring game sounds like a great combination for me.
My game of the year.
Oh my gosh! Of course it is.
Oh.
Knowing how weird Kojima can be, I'm surprised Stadia Death Stranding didn't launch as a Stadia exclusive.
And Stadia branded
money.
You get the see-through liquid controller.
It's got a Monster Energy bottle with it or something. Yeah. All right, Jeff, what is your prediction?
I think, and we were kind of just talking about it, they need to make a splash with a big-name game that's actually not out yet. And I know the producer of this game has talked pretty highly of Stadia in the past. I'm going Dying Light 2.
Ooh, very nice.
Nice.
Yeah, that'd be...
My actual prediction is they're shutting down Google Stadia, and they're coming out to tell everybody that they've made a huge mistake, and they're so sorry. Because they've done this before, and granted, I buy into stupid Google shit all the time. I got the Daydream headset for my Google Pixel. That's dead. They don't do anything about that anymore. I bought into
I really wanted
Google
the
Plus.
glasses.
I was into the glasses. I had a beta pair that I tried out at this lunch and learn thing I went to before when I was in college. I always buy into it, but they always disappoint me.
Fool me once, shame on me, something.
Yeah, something. Shame. So, I don't know. I give up. I don't think Google Stadia is going anywhere. If they say anything remotely to what you guys said, they're idiots because they're not going to get anywhere. They wasted a lot of money to bring cool things to their product. That it's a waste of time.
xCloud has. I mean, it's xCloud has already killed it.
xCloud has so many games. I don't know who's in the beta for xCloud, and right now I think it's still. I saw.
That's the Xbox.
What's that?
That's the Xbox One, right?
Xbox One.
Yeah.
Right now it's only available on like phones, and I think it's only on a couple phones. I think Google Pixels is like one of them, and
surprisingly,
yeah, which is odd. So I'm in the beta for it, and it works great. There's a ton of games that they're constantly adding new games to that you can play for free, all of them. It's just you have to play on your small screen. But I saw that they're testing it on PC for Windows 10, and as soon as it comes on there, I'm going to be very interested to be you playing it because there's a lot of games, and like good games. It's not just like third-rate shit that people have played before, and you're like, okay, it'll be cool to try. Like I'd actually play the whole game through on xCloud, and it shares the achievements and everything with your Xbox account. So it's not like you're playing in some...
Oh, that's really cool.
I mean, that... I could go on and on about that stuff, but I think that Microsoft and Phil Spencer, he's the man, and they're going to save us with streaming because Stadia sucks, and xCloud is coming, and they better watch out. So, okay, I'm done.
All right. Yeah, and I mean, like, let's end it on that note because that's a pretty good note to end it on, I think. Just Google, watch out. So... yeah, that pretty much does it for today's show. Want to put out some
technical difficulties, people dropping in and out.
Yeah, lots of technical difficulties.
YouTube never started to work. I'm not even sure a recording came through. So if you're listening to this, thank God it worked because I have no idea what's going on tonight.
And we do appreciate people tuning in. And I mean, obviously, it says episode 3. It doesn't say episode 3003, so we got a ways to go still. But appreciate it. Apologies to Travis Scott. Apologies to Google. Apologies to the Wii U. We went pretty hard there, but thanks everyone, and thanks Jeff for joining.
Thank you, Jeff.
It was really great having you.
Good to be here.
If you wanna, if there's a spot open, we'll call you.
Yeah, we'd love to have you come back and talk about Last of Us 2 and how you loved it.
I'll tell you guys a lot more about Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Darn.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks everyone. That's it for our show. It's Monday night. Usually we do this on Sundays. So again, the internet will be a bit more friendly to us in the future. So make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Everything's up in the top left-hand corner there for you to follow. And you can follow me at astamore14 on Linkable. Or on Linkable, on Twitter.
We don't know. You can just find us. You can find me, Kevin, Pro5002 on pretty much everything. Twitter, shoot something at me, say hi, tell me you disagree with everything I've just said, and let's fight.
And don't forget to send us an email at general.mail@linkcable.com and tweet us at linkcable1. And please subscribe to us on YouTube, Mixer, and Twitch when we get everything all set up and going. And keep us coming back for our weekly Sunday podcasts at usually about 7:30 every Sunday night. So barring yesterday's technical difficulties where the entire internet came down on us, we should hopefully be up and running for next week.
And what about you, Jeff? Where can people find you?
I don't have Twitter and I don't really stream, but if you guys want to get at me for my terrible Dark Souls, terrible Dark Souls takes, shout out to Pro5002 and he'll let me know.
Awesome.
Right, thanks, guys.
Well, thanks everyone. Really appreciate you guys sticking with us through this. We'll clean out the internet tubes and see if we can make it any better for episode 4 on Sunday. So see you guys then.
Have a good night, everyone.